Clobberin time!
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger. Ready to move out.
Clobberonimo!
Clobberin. Welcome, my friends, to Clobberin Times. Issue number 457 overall on at least on YouTube. 1,157 overall for the past 13 plus, almost 13 and a half years. And as always, Clobberin Times comes at you from the Baxter Building basement, which is secretly located on the Isle of Misfit Toys and solely owned and operated by me, Clobby, Supreme Commandant and Absolute Ruler. You will obey me, or you probably won't. Let's be honest, you really won't, but just had to say it anyway, So, welcome, my good friends, to Wildcard Wednesday night, the night that anything could happen. Yeah, had a great time hanging out with my good buddies. Loki on his great stream. Of course, Loki's comic roundtable tonight. And, of course, the great 24/7. My pal was there. And Classic Comics was there hanging with us as well. And it was a lot of fun and a great chat over there. And I hope you were all doing well tonight. Show notes, of course. It goes without saying, even though I'm going to say it anyway, is the clubhouse will be open tomorrow night. Number 1, Commander RM Raquel Briggs, and of course the great Chief Engineer Mark D with a C will be hanging with me, as per usual for the clubhouse, and I can't wait. I should be hanging out with the Friday Night Comic Shop gang over on the great Nick Weiser's channel. There's a link in my description below for anyone who needs to know where that is. 8:30 Central Standard Time. Oh, by the way, the clubhouse, of course, is always same Clobby time, same Clobby channel, 9 p.m. tomorrow night Central. 8:30 Central for Nick's comic shop show Friday night. And then Saturday night, as always, we're going to have Saturday Night Star Trek. 4 more episodes for you to review of Deep Space Nine, thick in the middle of season 3. And of course, I should be joining my good buddy, Mark D with the C, our aforementioned chief engineer, on his channel, as always, on Sunday nights for the Sunday Night Geekery show, which is, of course, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern on Sunday nights. If you're not doing anything late on a Sunday night, come hang out with us. Enjoy it. It is loads of fun. Let me say some hellos to our good friends here in the chat. Some of our buddies have popped in. Let's see who we have. The great J-Man. What's up, brother? Good to see you there, Kimasabi. What's happening here? My alarm keeps going off. I thought I turned that sucker off. Man, oh, man. Good to see you there, J-Man. I saw you over there at the comic shop. I guess you probably thought I was a little bit... I was probably, at Loki's. I should be ashamed of myself for the way I conducted my behavior towards a Snyder bot who was there, who didn't like being called a Snyder bot, which makes it at least worthwhile. Anyway, but we'll forego that. Also with us one, of course, is the great Eric K, the Bronze Richard himself. What's up, bro? Good to see you. Always great to have the bronze one here. And the Vindicator Wrench of the North, Chris Persia. What's up, brother? Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for being here. And the great D. Bud Martin is here. The Wrench of Iron is here with us this evening. What a great bunch of wrenches we have here. I'm not worthy of you guys. I do not deserve you, but I sure appreciate you. I can tell you that much. And I mean that sincerely. Phantom Outsiders here. What's up, brother? Also here with us is Gwagnar. What's up? Hey, Gwagnar. Good to see you. Let's see. Oh, yeah, we'll get to the poll in a second. Classic Comics. It was a good hanging out with you tonight, buddy. And thank you for popping in. Good to see you. Zathrath, what's up, bro? Cal L, what's up, brother? Stephen M. Always a pleasure, man. Good to see you. Brian Hepburn, welcome. Good to see you here, man. Good to see you. Let's see, where are we? Lemon Pie. Hey, Lemon Pie. I could use a lemon pie about right now. Good to see you. Hang on a second. See what else we got. Whom else we have, if any. This may be all we have so far. We'll find out, though. Yeah, I may have covered everybody there. Claude Salling, hey there. Good to see you. Yeah. Yeah, I think you mean breathe classic, but yeah, I guess I'll try to breathe a little bit. I try. Dave Rayborn, what's up, cuz? What's happening? Hey. Fat ass, what's up, buddy? The great Fat ass is here. Hey. Dave G Sound, hey, man. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. JT Kirk, what is up, my brother? It's great to see you. Hungry Boy is here, or the official artist of Clobberin Times, or should I say, hungry for some high-res is it Rampatouille? Oh, dude. You and your pronounceables, or impronounceables, or unpronounceables. Can't even pronounce pronounceable. Maddie's daddy, what's up, Steve Mitchell? Hey, bro. Good to see you. I think I got everybody. Let's make sure here. I do believe I spotted everybody now. I got my chat back up to speed there. So good to see everybody tonight. Thank you for being here. I know lots going on the YouTubes. My old buddy DC's out there doing the pop culture breakdown. So I appreciate anyone who has popped in to say hello to me. I appreciate that very much. I had a great time hanging out with Loki. Again, like I said, that was fun. And yes, let's take a look at how we're doing on the poll so far. We'll leave it up for the whole show, of course. But let me move that up there, and let me just refresh this thing and make it easy. And give it a second, and we'll take a look, see at how it's doing so far. I asked a very difficult question on this poll tonight. But what the hell? Since I don't get a vote, I could cheat and just say all of the above. Because that's the easiest one. Now, let's face it, that's easy. I mean, let's just, let's see here. What am I going? Okay. All right, here we go. All right. The question was, we've got 21 votes already. Wow. Okay. The question is, which filthy, worthless, maggot-infested pile of dog crap destroyer of fandoms, couldn't get all those words in there, destroyer of fandoms, do you dislike the most? In first place, at 50%, is Jar Jar A-Holebrums. In second place is the duo of Ruins Johnson and Cat Spleen Kennedy. And with 18%, in third place is, of course, Chris Chibi, Chin Balls. And with 0 votes, is Hack Snyder. As much as I can't stand Snyder and Chibi and even Ruins, my vote, if I had to vote, because I don't get a vote. Obviously, I'm kidding about cheating for cheating with the all of the above. They all deserve it, but I'd have to say Jar Jar Abrams because, as has been pointed out in the chat, rightly so, he participated in the destruction of two great ones, Star Wars and Star Trek. And not in that order, Star Trek and Star Wars. What he did set the tone, and even all of it, and all of his little acolytes. Well, I see. There's Mark D with a C. Yo, welcome, dude. Yeah, Alex Klutzman, but see, Alex Klutzman you could put him there in the poll. If I had room, I would put him in the poll, but Klutzman is Abrams. If you vote for Abrams, you're voting for Klutzman because he comes from Abrams. Alex Klutzman doesn't happen without Jar Jar Abrams because he works for Bad Reboot. So, a vote for Jar Jar Abrams is a vote for Alex Klutzman. And like you say, D-Bud, Hack Snyder, he's horrible to me, but he's kind of fixable. But according to a Snyder bot over at Loki's tonight, Hack Snyder's going to be reinstated and going to be making all the DC movies again. Kept saying it over and over again. Must be true. Now, couldn't be at all wishful, insane thinking. And he assures me that I'm going to like it. And I don't know if any of you were there at Loki's and saw the Snyder bot that was arguing with me. And again, look, he could come here and I'd be nice to him. He might be, hey, Captain Infinity and beyond. But, and if he's here lurking, either way, he knows who he is. I would be perfectly polite to you and talk to you either way. It'd be nice. However, I'm going to be firm. I don't believe Snyder's coming back, but you never know. Warner might be that stupid. I guess if it happened, I got to give him one thing. The Snyder bot, and you are a Snyder bot because you talk like one. I'm sorry, you are a Snyder bot because you're insane. You didn't even make any sense. You kept saying that his movies were successful. Then you admitted they weren't by saying, well, of course they cut so much out of BVS. Of course it didn't do well. Well, which one is it? So he kept saying that the Mexican Iron Man's not a Snyder bot anymore, D. Bud Martin. He's in rehab. He's in Snyder bot rehab, and we're helping him. So you can all tell me how you voted and why if you'd like. That's a good conversation starter. Steven says, I voted for Dumb and Dumber, KK and RJ. Those two combined have a lot to answer for when it comes to Star Wars. Oh, absolutely, Kel-El, absolutely. The thing is, Jar Jar Abrams and did help start it, but that's a good vote. None of these votes are wrong. All of them they're all terrible. Sean, what's up, dude? Good to see you, man. But he was being a Snyder bot because he kept saying the theory is Gunn will hire Snyder. Now, look, that might happen. They may be ridiculous enough to let James Gunn hire Hack Snyder. Yeah, that's what Pat S said. I bet you $100, Clobberin, that Zach, you misspelled Zach. That's probably how he did it. Will direct JL2. His movies were the most successful and awesome. Did he say that? Tobar the robot said, hey, how's it going? Can you stop calling him a bot? It's an insult to us real bots. Well, I'm using bot to be nice. Could call him like a Snyder zombie or a Snyderista or whatever, but I don't know. D-Bud says he voted for Chibi because it would be hardest to fix the damage he did to Doctor Who. That's not untrue. That's for sure. You're not wrong, bud. Let's see here. I don't know why you think Gunn would hire Snyder. Because look, I don't know. I don't know Zaslav. He might be crazy. But Snyder, if you think Man of Steel didn't underperform, you're insane. If you think BVS did not underperform, he said this guy was trying to say tonight that if you combine the and I admit I misread what he was saying. He did say if you combine the first two Nolan movies and compared them to the first two Snyder movies, they made the same amount of money. Well, yeah, okay. I thought he meant the second two Nolan movies, so I made a mistake. But that might be true. I didn't check it. He says it's true. I'm going to just take his word for it. That doesn't mean shit. Okay, Man of Steel and BVS underperformed because they didn't go anywhere close to what they were projected to be. Man of Steel did about six something $100 million in 2013. That's way low. Then we get a movie with the names of Superman and Batman. And like I've always said, it's called Batman versus Superman, which was a stupid title. You could have just said Batman and Superman or something like that. I know that we're going to just say the world's finest, but you could have at least, but you had their names in it. And like I say this, I've said it so many times, broken record. If you put, theoretically speaking, in 2016, especially if you put two of the most famous characters in all of fiction, arguably at the top, Superman and Batman, their names in the title of a movie, playing tiddlywinks for 2 hours, you should make $1 billion. Theoretically. Just goes to show you that that's not true, of course, but you would think that even a so-called, I would have thought even just a mediocre film that had the characters right would have at least done okay. It might have underperformed still, but it might have made $1 billion. Well, this one didn't make $1 billion. You had two of the biggest names in all of human history in terms of pop culture, and he couldn't crack $1 billion. Whereas Nolan had two movies that cracked $1 billion. With, by the way, both of which didn't even have the name Batman in the title. What does that tell you? 101? What does that tell you? But he said, no, they were really successful. And then he kept saying stuff like, I've never seen a Snyder bot do this, by the way. J-Man, you know Snyder bots. Have you ever seen one do this? He said, well, I understand. If it wasn't being, by the way, it was not being disrespectful, was not being mean. He was perfectly, if he hears this, he was being perfectly polite, which is also not very Snyder botish. That's why it felt weird. But he did say, I mean, he tried to make his case, which is fine. He didn't make a good case, but he did actually say, he said, for those of you who don't like Snyder, that's okay. I understand that. And he wasn't being mean about not liking Snyder, but he said he's going to make the next movie. He's going to make Man of Steel 2, and you're going to like it. Me. You're going to like it. Has Snyder bot ever done that with you, Jay? JT Kirk says, I posit if Jar Jar Abrams' tank exhaust had any gonads at all, He would have told Kathleen Karen Kennedy to split rice of soy Walker, yes, into 2 films, made them not suck, and raked in the cash, maybe save his rep. The thing is about that, JT Kirk, I hear you, but Jar Jar Abrams is not capable of making a good movie. Jar Jar is another thing. Hack Snyder can actually make an okay movie with the right. I mean, I thought a lot of people don't like 300, but I thought 300 was fairly entertaining. He did some good things in Watchmen, but I hate his ultimate way he did with the story. But in other words, if you want a stylish, movie that has a certain look to it, he can be stylish. Snyder can make a movie look good if you like that sort of thing. I just don't really care for it. And I don't like what he did with the characters and his DC stuff, but there's some talent to his, at least some talent in terms of the way he can make a movie look. Jar Jar Abrams has no talent. He's the worst director. He's the shitty. Everything he does sucks, and he's a horrible storyteller. I mean, Snyder's a shitty storyteller too, but he's, he could. I mean, with the right script, maybe. I don't know. He probably ruined it too, but he's not as bad as Jar Jar Abrams for some reason in terms of that. I got to admit it. Jar Jar was this. Decepticon mispronounces his name and says JJ when it's really Jar Jar, but it's Jar Jar Abrams has destroyed Star Wars, Star Trek, and bungled DC, created acolytes to go for it and destroy Lord of the Rings, and mocked its own movies, saying anyone who liked Force Awakens is brain dead. A vicious shyster. Yes, Jar Jar Abrams is the worst piece of scum. I'm not going to get in trouble with YouTube for that, by the way. That's why my vote would have been Jar Jar Abrams. Sean, but because he sowed seeds that destroyed other things too. But they're all worthy of being voted on here. So, and again, I don't get a vote. But Jar Jar Abrams is an even worse director than Hack Snyder. There's some style to Snyder. They don't really like. I mean, I thought 300 was okay. I really haven't liked anything I thought visual style on Watchmen, some of that was okay. Then he gets a little Matrixy for me, but ripping off the Matrix a lot. But Clobby, we allow Decepticon to say JJ because he's Canadian. He has to be polite. I'm just saying, hey, Apollonie's Minions here? I didn't see you. Apollonie's Minion, my dear, good to see you. And of course, as always, the Pupper. I hope you and the Pupper are doing well, my friend. Yeah, Wagner, I'll throw that in. I like the opening credits of Watchmen. He as bad at casting as Snyder is for the DCU, he did some really good casting with Watchmen. He did a good casting with Cavill too, obviously. My 50-year-old nephew hates Abrams because of his Trek crap. Yeah, the kid's a purist. That kid is going places. He's already a Trek purist at 15. He's my kind of guy. Mark D said, I made a spreadsheet to check the Snyder bot because that's what engineers do. Oh. What is that? I got to find that. You made a spreadsheet. Let me click on that. See what is that? I'm in the chat. I can't find the link. Maybe maybe I need to refresh. I want to see what you did. But he was insisting that, oh, there you go. I see. He was saying that the Snyder movies are successful. That's delusional. If you think the DC Snyder movies were successful, you're delusional. Could not be raised for further comment. Hello there. Good to see you, my friend. And Ironhide 84, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Oh, you sent me a screenshot. Okay, thanks. Where at? Oh, I see. Oh, thanks. Thanks, dude. Let's see here. All right. Batman Begins made okay. I see. Man of Steel. Batman. So, what am I looking at here? Batman Begins. Yeah, but so Batman Begins and Man of Steel combined, which is what we're talking about here, they made approximately okay, so yeah, he's totally wrong then. Dark Knight. I see what you're saying. Basically, he's totally wrong. I'm not good with billions. I'd have to have you to explain this to me a little bit, but yeah, he's not correct in what he was saying. And they underperformed. Yeah. Wagner says, so who would we blame for the destruction of the MCU? Kevin Feige or Victoria Alonso? I'd say Kevin Feige. I would have put him on this list, but I couldn't fit him. You only get four. You only get four choices. So well, combined gross. All right. I'm not good at reading these things, but from what I'm seeing, he was not correct. Is that the conclusion I should be drawing, Mark D? Is that the guy was not correct? Because it doesn't look like he was correct. He said that Man of Steel. Okay, well, I'm sorry. Now I'm in the right place. Yeah, Man of Steel and BB. And I'm in the right spot. Yeah, they were close. I see what he's done here. Yeah, but what he's not factoring in is now. Okay, now I see it. It took me a second because I'm crappy with numbers. And by the way, he's using stupid cold numbers like this to bolster your dumb point. Really doesn't work anyway. So what? Pat S has just talked himself out of my will because he said he likes Man of Steel. And I had you in my will. I was leaving you all kind of cool stuff, and now you're gone, buddy. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. So, anyway, that's not a defense of the Snyder shit because they still underperformed. Big time. Pat says they show Andor in film school to teach future filmmakers how to drag out a 2-hour movie into 12-hour, 10-episode show. Is it 10 episodes? I thought it was 9. Yeah. I thought it was, is it 10 episodes? Is and or 10 episodes or 9 episodes or 10? Yeah, anyway. I don't know. I watched the first 4, if you can call it watching them. I fell asleep each time. So I'm not so sure what I watched, to be honest with you. All right, let me check our poll now. Let's give an update to the poll because these polls, I mean, the ones I've been doing, I always think when I go back, when I'm probably going back too soon, it's not going to change that much, and they radically change on me a lot. So you got to keep, and I got to refresh my screen. I don't have 2 screens, so I could do the pop out chat, but I don't like the way that works. So now we're up to 32 votes. At 32 votes, everyone, the question of the night is: Which filthy, worthless, maggot-infested, disgusting bag of garbagey destroyer of fandoms do you dislike the most? The choices were Hack Snyder, Jar Jar A. Holbrams, the duo of Ruins Johnson and Cat Spleen Kennedy, and Chris Chibi Chibballs. So, now we have 34 votes. 34 votes. Hello there, Donnie Pearson. Good to see you. Out of 34 votes, in first place with a whopping 50% is still Jar Jar A. Holbrams, holding his first place. In second place, Ruins Johnson Head with Kath Spleen Kennedy, the duo, that lovely duo. And, of course, way back into third place is Chris Chibi Chinballs at a whopping nothing of a 12%. But at least Hack Snyder's on the board now. He was at 0 before. Now he's up to good old 6%. Poor old Hack Snyder in the back. Actually, in a sense, that puts him in the lead. In a sense, Hack Snyder's doing well tonight. So, yeah. And even though he's not affiliated with us or anything. So, yeah. Oh, Andor has 12 episodes, says Quagnar. I did not know that. That is wild, weird stuff, yes. So, yes, I was not aware of that. Anyway. By the way, thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you all who may be lurking or watching this later on a download. I always forget to say that because I'm an idiot. Had a long stream there with a great, fun, long stream over there with Loki and 24 and Classic Comics on the comic book round table, talking some Superman and some such, some and stuff. And that was fun. JD Lewis, what's up, bro? Happy Wednesday to you. Brian says this is among the live streams I'm watching on YouTube, along with Pop Culture Breakdown. Always a big shout out to the great Doomcock and his great gang over there. They have moved to Wednesday nights, that's for sure. But anyway, I'm glad everyone's here. Let's see what everyone is saying. JT says, thing is, Chinballs ruined Doctor Who when he turned it into Dr. Karen, but Doctor Who as a franchise is isolated to the small screen on one network, on one TV network. The others are cinematic universe ruiners. I love Doctor Who as much, though. So here's the thing about that. The Doctor Who thing's a little bit complicated for me personally, because Chinballs, yes, he to me, Moffat had really put Doctor Who in ruins for me personally. Excuse me there. Moffat had kind of messed things up for me as a fan. But then Ruins came along with the wrecking ball. I mean, what's his face? Chibi. Oh, there, Dave. Good to see you. Chibi came along with the wrecking ball and just flattened it. Did even worse. Ironhide said, much as I hate DCEU, Snyder's trashing of DC's heroes pales in comparison to what Kennedy Abrams and Chibi did to Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who. Well, I understand that, Ironhide. I'm with you. Decepticon said, I stopped Andor after the first episode. Despite what other YouTubers say, slow doesn't mean adult, nor does it mean anything a successful slow burn or even good. That's exactly right. People think, oh, just because it's slow, it's not bad. Well, sure, some things are slower that are good, but that doesn't make it good. That doesn't, look, it was so pretentious and arty-farty when I was the episodes I was actually awake for Andor, the 4 episodes. I'm not saying I won't maybe try to see it again. I don't know. I just don't really have a big desire to see it. But it was just pretentious. It was dull beyond belief. I remember I woke up in at the end of the 4th episode, maybe because they put all the first 4 on at once, and thought that, hey, Stellan Skarsgård, he's kind of cool. Or maybe it was the 3rd episode. I don't know, whichever it was. And that was kind of okay. Then the next episode, again, it was boredom beyond belief. They went to Coruscant. I thought that would be cool. It looked like they were just trying to do THX 1138. It was awful. And I just can't get into it. It's really tough. And, there's another thing. People who like it are even saying, I admit it's not Star Wars, but I like it. Well, I'm sorry. That sentence doesn't work for me. Personally. Because By the way, it works for you. That's great. If you can like it, and at least you're admitting it's not Star Wars. For me, Star Wars should be Star Wars. Even shitty Star Wars. I hate Obi-Wan worse. Obi-Wan's one of the most horrible things I've ever seen. Even worse, I think it's worse than Book of Boba Fett, to be honest. And it's screwing Star Wars over, but it tries to act like Star Wars in the sense that it's got action, and it's got, it's got stuff going on that looks like sort of typical Star Wars environs. Certainly not good. I hate it more than I hate Andor. I don't have any hatred for Andor. I just don't care much. But Obi-Wan Kenobi is the worst of all these shows to me, including even worse than Book of Boba Fett. It's the most, because it really just shits all over so much of the first movie. And it's just, it's Last Jedi level disgusting what it does to the character of Obi-Wan Kenobi for me personally. And I thought Book of Boba Fett was bad, but I don't really give a shit about Boba Fett. Never did, to be perfectly honest with you. Hey, Skogly Jatoon. I hope I said that right, Skogly Jatoon. I hope so. Let's see here. What am I saying? Guagnar said Chibi blew it up, then set it on fire, then poured salt all over it, then took a big dump on what remained. Boy, that is for sure, Guagnar. And Captain Finney says, if you like slow burn sci-fi, then please watch The Expanse. And say, I'm not a really big fan of slow burn sci-fi per se. I watched the first couple of seasons of The Expanse. I had nothing against it. I respect it. It just wasn't something that I particularly stuck with. Finity, that said, it has a huge following of many people I respect. So I do recommend that The Expanse could be the kind of show for you. I respect what I saw. Donnie Pearson says, speaking of the Power Rangers, over half a year since Netflix became America's exclusive home of those heroes with attitude, it's now becoming the worldwide exclusive home. So as a Power Rangers fan, Donnie, does that make you happy, or are you nervous about that? What is your, I don't know much about them. I would say that Power Rangers Cosmic Fury would be way better than, say, the final season of Silly Trick, a pick or no card, perhaps. Well, I've never watched Power Rangers except for that time when my kids loved it. I'm old. Bear in mind, Donnie, I'm very old, and my kids were that perfect age for Power Rangers in the early 90s, and they loved it. Canadian Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. What's up, brother? They loved Power Rangers, so I'd have to ask. I don't know if they watched those new ones you're talking about, but I'm glad you're getting to see something you like, man. That's good. It's rare that we get something that we grew up loving that's being treated with respect now. Thank you, Canadian Spidey. Says, great freaking poll, buddy. Even shitty Star Wars. Yes. Your poll was well-timed and well-focused. Nice work, Lobby. Some of us gave a shit about Boba Fett because he was different. No, I got you. A lot of people did. He had a big following. Trevor Cunningham. What's up, buddy? He said Book of Boba could be a good 1 hour 45 movie recut without all the Mando cameos. Not a lot would agree, but it would work. More spaghetti western would have to be great. I think to me the Mando ones were the only episodes I kind of thought were okay, but that's no biggie there, man. There were people who liked it. Canadian Spidey says, you aren't that old, buddy. Not far behind you. Oh, I'm old, man. Trust me, I am old. My kids were, they did love it. They brought me. Look, I'm so old. I brought my kids to see that first Power Rangers movie at the theater. So, yeah. But Power Rangers has a big following. Many of course, people who were kids then. Still love it now. So I hope you guys don't get screwed over the way so many of us have. D-Bud Martin says, oh, Eric K dropped off 5 more gift memberships. Thank you so much, Eric. Appreciate it, D-Bud, by the way. Anyone who's not already a member, if you would like to accept that gift from Eric K, please be my guest. Avail yourself of it. If you don't have to. We love having you here either way. But if you want to become a member on the free membership for a while there, please avail yourself of that. And Eric K, thank you, bro. You're too kind. Appreciate you. JT Kirk says, IDW put out a fake Trek comic. I heard about that last week, where a Vulcan chastises another officer for calling the ship she, saying the gender binary is illogical. I bet all 3 people who buy that comic are happy. Yeah, I stopped buying the IDW crap. I know some people who do, by the way. But yeah, JT, dude, Buddy Hepburn, hello there. Welcome. I've not seen you here before, have I, Buddy Hepburn? But welcome. Welcome. Good to see you. So great to see you all here tonight. Where were I? What was I just? Oh yeah, but see that IDW Trek comic. I saw that. Dr. Coffin Nails. What's up? Good to see you. Welcome, sir. Decepticon says, Kenobi broke me. I can't watch Andor if they put that little effort into Kenobi with its high-profile stars and characters, and it's still flat and cheap looking and badly written. Andor has to suck. Yeah, I can't get into it. I mean, I'm not. Granted, I should go back and actually try to stay awake, but I just, if I have to put that much effort into staying awake, watching something, that's not on me. I didn't make the freaking show. Just saying. IDW is total garbage, Dr. Coffinails. I agree. I used to like them. They did some good Trek comics way back when. They do mostly licensed stuff now, but I used to like some of their Trek comics. As much as I beat up on John Byrne, he used to write some good Trek comics. Donnie Pearson said he's hyped about Cosmic Fury. That's a Power Rangers thing. Well, good. Man. Look, I'm always excited for any fellow fan that has a fandom that if they've got something they're looking forward to and they're excited about. That used to be the key. To go, wow, have something on the horizon to look forward to. You see, because there was a time when I would at least have a few things and you go, oh, this, you'd see something out there, people would talk about it, report on it. And you go, wow, that looks pretty cool. Keely Chow, Roll Tide. This week you're going to do some rolling on my Tigers. But we always used to have at least 1 or 2 things in the fire to look forward to. And it's rare for me to get anything now. So anytime one of our pals here is into something and they've got something coming out that they're looking forward to, I'm always happy for you. It doesn't matter whether I'm into it or not. I'm with you. So I hope that turns out to be great there, Donnie. D-Bud Martin says, if you want to claim the gift membership, make sure you are on live chat and click on the gift icon at the top. It should ask you if you want to accept the gift. So, yeah, I appreciate that because I wouldn't know how to tell anyone how to do it. So I appreciate that. Dr. Coffin Nails says, the last IDW Trek comic I bought was loaded with typographical errors and other mistakes, zero quality control. Oh, yes. A couple of years back, I was buying Star Trek Year 5, which was kind of okay for a while, and then they started putting some dumb crap in there. And yes, they had some W stuff in there, some wokeness. And I just I just stopped it. I mean, I was gonna keep for a while, just couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. JD Lewis says, by the way, Clobby, I just turned 56 last month, so you were miles from old, good sir. Well, I hate to tell you this, JD, but you're still younger than me, my brother. You're still younger than my old ass, but hey, you're up, but you are right there in my same generation, bud. You're one of us. And happy birthday, whenever that was. That's right. We mentioned that to you. We said that to you at the time, but happy birthday. I hope you had a great one. Yeah. But yeah, that thing with the Vulcan, that was so stupid. But it's IDW. It's not a surprise at all. JT Kirk said a good TV show must make you have to make a choice of one more or go to bed. That is for sure, especially in these days of binging, right? A great TV show makes you disbelieve your eyes that the clock says 4 a.m. and you've binged it for the last 8 hours. That is very true in the binge age, sir. That's where I concur with that big time. But yeah, it's, I don't know, man. I'm trying. there used to be, I could rattle off one or two things like, if someone said, looking forward to anything? I go, yeah. What are we looking forward to? There's always something. Not a lot, maybe, but something. Something new coming out on the horizon. For example, I think I was looking forward to Cobra Kai. Well, that's over now. Probably over for good. We don't know. What's that? Oh, the last IDW Trek I enjoyed was Star Trek and Planet of the Apes. I got you. I got you. Yep, I got you there. J.D. Lewis. D-Bud says, which is more evil, Batman's Rogues Gallery or the people listed in your poll? I'd say the people in the poll. They're the worst. They're the scourge, I would have to say. Skogley. I hope I'm saying that right, Skogley. I apologize if I'm not. I messed up. Yeah. Says, look at all the activity. Look at all the chat activity. You'd think there was 100 people here. And gasp, holy smokes, we're still getting acknowledged. Good job. Well, good job. I'm just happy to see everybody hanging out with me tonight. Glad to see you here. It's great. I don't know I'm not saying Cobra Kai is over, Spidey, but I don't know. I haven't seen anything on whether for sure it's coming back yet or not. Phantom Outsider says, thank you, Skogley. Says, check out Resident Alien. Seasons 1 and 2 have been good. I watched the first episode. I'm a big fan of Alan Tudyk. I watched the first episode of Resident Alien and liked it and just never went back, not on purpose or anything. But my friend Minimus loves it. He's a fan of the show, and you are as well, apparently, Phantom Outsider. So, yes, everyone, you should check out Resident Alien. I hear everyone says it's good. And Pat S., yeah, I'm looking forward to Reacher Season 2. One comic book I'm sort of looking forward to. And now I can't remember the damn title. In January, there's a comic book coming out. Because, January, next year's the Avengers 60th. Avengers War Across Time. That's it. Here's a comic book, and I've showed it a couple times, talked about it a little bit. This is a comic that I'm actually looking forward to. Yes, a Marvel comic I'm looking forward to. Try not to have a die of shock. Because it's written by Paul Levitz with art by Alan Davis, and it takes place in it's like a Bronze Age story. I'm sorry it has time travel involved with it, Captain Infinity, forgive me. But, comic books do that. Marvel Comics has always been obsessed with time travels. You may or may not know Affinity. But I do apologize, sir. But still, even though it's called War Across Time, I can't. I'm a big fan of Paul Levitz. He's my favorite. My favorite Legion of Superheroes writer, and one of my favorite comics writers. Period. He's never written for DC. He worked for DC. He was the president of DC Comics for many years. He's never worked for Marvel. And now he is. He's doing something for Marvel, which is a weird thing. Look, I'm not saying Cobra Kai's not coming back. Don't panic. I'm just saying I haven't seen an announcement yet. I know Tom will find out and tell me when he knows for sure. JT Kirk says, I was really looking forward to Foundation on Apple TV. Based on the Asimov books, which I haven't read those in forever. It looks beautiful, and Apple spent a ton. Unfortunately, it bombed hard, and it's said to be nothing like the books. I've heard that as well, sir. Trevor Cunningham. Hey, Trevor Cunningham. Good to see you. Asks, what do you guys think of Crystal Lake series with Brian Fuller writing it? I don't have an opinion on that as I'm not a fan of those movies or anything, but I would. Last night I was on the Great Midnight's Edge After Dark show with Tom and the gang. Let's see, Trevor. Excuse me. And on that stream for the good, like, first hour and a half or so, the guys who were really big into that, Tom, Snowdub, and one of the other gentlemen, they really talked in depth about that. That stream's probably still up if you want to see what they think about it. They had a lot to say about it and a lot to say about Friday the 13th because they're all huge fans. I was on the stream with them, but don't know much about that. So, but if you want to hear a really interesting conversation about it, and it was really well, those guys really know their stuff. If you go to Midnight's Edge After Dark, they've got a stream on that. So from last night, Dr. Coffin Nail says, love Levitt's Legion as well. Oh, cool. Long live the Legion indeed, my friend. Levitt's was the greatest of the Legion riders, in my opinion. So J-Man, his opinion is no to Crystal Lake, no prequels. I'll still watch it, of course. That's what he says. Well, it's a fair cop. Yeah. I don't like prequels either. I can tell you this, Trevor, if it were something that I was big into, I don't like prequels. And I'm going to be contradictory. I'm going to contradict myself. I don't like prequels. And yet I'm one of the few people who defend Star Trek Enterprise. And yet multiple things can be true at the same time. I can like it and then criticize it. And I would say that they should never have made Star Trek Enterprise. It should not have been done. Maybe a special movie or something. You don't go backwards. I don't think. I just don't like it. I don't like that Lucas did it with his movies. I mean, I don't hate the prequels, the Star Wars prequels or anything, but I just would not have preferred him doing that. I would rather have seen him go forward. I think prequels generally are not necessarily a great idea, not for sustain something like something that, like a one-off type deal. All right, J-Man, be good, buddy. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, bro. Good seeing you. Be seeing you. We're 1 week away from you know what. Ugh. I don't want to go. I'm David Tennant Stockton. I don't want to go. So there's Retro Blasting. Hey, buddy, what's up, man? What's to see? He says, I hate the Star Wars prequels for both of us. Hey, and that's good enough for me, brother. I don't hate them, but you won't catch me defending them that much either. So, but I love Enterprise, and it has a lot of things wrong with it. Shouldn't have been made. You might say, wait a minute. Excuse me. You might say, well, if you like it, why you say it shouldn't be made? That doesn't make any sense. I'm just being practical. It was not the right idea, but I love the characters. It doesn't necessarily fit into the lore very well because it's 30 years later, and yet it takes 100 years. Takes place 100 years before the original series. But anyway, I'm just using that as an example. So I'm not big on prequels per se. Yeah, Hungerbook says I'm just not big on the concept. Like I said, if they had done like a one-off, like a special like TV movie that takes place in the early days of the Federation, that might be okay. But it was a problem. Nevertheless, I still love the show. I know life is full of contradictions. I'm one contradictory son bitch, and I admit it. So, what are you going to do? Let's see how our poll is going. Let's check in with the poll again. I'm going to check the vote. So I got to refresh here. But yes, this is actually a comic book being produced coming up in the future that I actually am looking forward to. I know it's a shocker. I like shocking you guys sometimes. What the hell? What's wrong? What's going wrong there? Come on. Refresh, Donald, dang it. All right, refreshing. Sorry, folks. I got a very slow-ass computer. Much like myself, my computer is very slow and inefficient. And I hope you're all still hearing me. I'm not sure. My eyes are off the main screen right now because I'm trying to refresh this. So I hope you're all, let me check. I hope you're all still hearing me. Oh, Eric K with a $5 super chat. Thanks, buddy. Good to see you, man. This guy says, I would watch anything with a sexy Jolene Blaylock and Linda Park in skimpy clothes. Well, yeah, well, who wouldn't? And yeah, I mean, that's just common sense. I mean, they were something. They were nice and sexy, my friend. Yeah. Love her. Love them both. Yeah. So, all right, here we go. All right, the poll so far, folks. All right, the question was, and I couldn't fit all of what I wanted to say in the question, so I'll have to edit, or so I'll have to add a little bit. Which filthy, maggot-infested, revolting bag of garbagey, filthy, disgusting, goram, asinine, jerk-off, dickweed piece of worthless destroyer of fandoms do you dislike the most? That's basically the question in my poll. 42 votes, folks. Still in the lead is Jar Jar A-Hole Brams, whom I would have voted for. But tightening up, though. Oh, he's got a race now, folks, because Jar Jar A-Hole Brams is down to 44%. Whereas right breathing down his neck are his co-conspirators. Ruins Johnson Dickhead and Kath Spleen Kennedy at 37% in second place. They're really chomping at the Jar Jar Abrams little nads right there. And in 12% in third place, Chris Chibi Chin Balls. And poor old Hack Snyder, actually he's doing the best, isn't he, I guess, if you think about it, at 7% is the caboose in fourth place. Hack Snyder just can't do anything right. He can't even suck worse than someone else. That's how bad he is. Incompetent second crap. I got 42 votes, but only 32 likes, says JT Kirk. Well, I guess a lot of people don't like me. What can I tell you? That's all right. And if you're listening, I'm just glad you're listening. And if you don't like me, that's okay. I like you for listening. I would give you a like, but you don't have to give me one. If you do, thank you. If not, hey. Retro Blasting says, none of what happened could have truly happened with Star Wars if Abrams hadn't been so characteristically incompetent. Indeed, sir. Like I said, I don't get a vote, but if I got a vote, I would almost cheat and do all of the above, but oh, thank you. Could not be rich. I appreciate that. But I would vote for Jar Jar Abrams because remember, Jar Jar Abrams, technically, if you want to be really technical about it, was Les Moonves that hired the jerk off, but still, Jar Jar Abrams not only destroyed Star Trek, not just with his shitty movies, he gave us, you talk about Alex Klutzman and Damon Lindelof and all those jerk offs. He gave us that 70s rock fan. He didn't give us that 70s rock fan, but I'm just saying. Because we love that 70s rock fan. We wouldn't blame him for that. But Jar Jar Abrams gave us Alex Klutzman, Damon Lindelof, Klutzman went on to continue destroying all of Star Trek, whereas Lindelof went on and destroyed a lot of stuff, including that shitty Watchmen TV show. And then a couple other acolytes of Abrams are doing the shitty Rings of Power garbage. So Jar Jar Abrams is the master of destruction of all of it. And then he participated in the destruction of Star Wars. And then he went to DC and couldn't even get anything made because of how much of a jackass he is. And now he's going to be gone. Citizens of the Universe 333. Thank you for being here. Good to see you. Says, I voted for Jar Jar Abrams rather than Ruins Johnson because Jar Jar was the guy who got Ruins Johnson on board. Yeah, well, look, hey, that's why I think he is the worst, but I wanted people to vote, Yep. Retrobuster says, yep, Star Wars, Star Trek, and he's contributing to DC. So, yeah, and he's probably he's getting bounced. DC, Warner wasted like $500 million on him. They gave him $500 million and nothing. He's not going to make anything. Nothing. Let that sink in. I don't think anything that the guys were in charge of is going to get made, if it is, it's not much. You could have taken that $500 million that you gave to Jar Jar Abrams and did basically what Heath Ledger does to it in Dark Knight. Just burn it. And it'd been more productive because it would have generated some heat for somebody. If you burn that money instead of giving it to Jar Jar Abrams, who didn't need it, by the way. Not that I'm I'm not that kind of guy. I'm a capitalist. Not what he needs, but he didn't earn it, and he'll never earn it either. Burn it on a big stack like Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight, and it would have been more useful. Yeah, no shit. Exactly. Retrobostic says Abrams is like an Uncharted fan being given the helm of Indiana Jones. A wannabe Chad who wants to make everything cool. Yep, a lot like Snyder as well. And he has no idea. See, everyone, I've calmed down from my big run-in with the Snyder bot at Loki's show tonight. Everyone thought I probably thought I got a little heated and I lashed out, and I was a little embarrassed. I went after him. Yeah, Robert Orsi's another Jar Jar flunky. So, but I think that Snyder bot, who was different from any Snyder bot that I've ever encountered, by the way, because he encouraged me to do this this poll here. So what can you do? But yeah, the guy's convinced, the Snyder bot I was talking to, for those who were coming late, kept trying to convince me in Loki's chat that he said he wasn't being mean, but he was saying, well, those of you who don't, I understand that you don't like Snyder's stuff before, but he's going 100%. He's going to be making the new Superman, and you're going to like this one. And he was also trying to convince me that Man of Steel and BVS were successes. So that should tell you something. And we had an argument about whether they're not success. They weren't. I'm sorry, they underperformed. That's what I'm saying, and they did. But anyway, so he's trying to tell me, of all people, that I will like that. First of all, I'm sorry, they're not hiring Snyder back. They're not. That's delusional. I mean, look, now I'll watch them do it, and I'll go, oh, well, they're idiots. Go get some more underperforming movies then, if that's what you want. Donnie Pearson says Robert Orsi was supposed to be among the producers of the 2017 Lionsgate film reboot of the Power Rangers, but that didn't come into fruition. Well, you were very lucky, Donnie Pearson, because I know you're a fan of the Power Rangers, and you don't want a Jar Jar Abrams acolyte anywhere near anything that you love. Decepticon says Abrams acolytes alone guarantee his seat on the trash throne. We still get bad news from them. Lindelof ruined Watchmen. God, it was such a shitty show. Oh, my God. And he's working on some terrible workshopped Star Wars movie now. Lindelof is horrible. That guy's, I mean, he may be he's as stupid as Klutzman. I'm not going to say he's dumber. Of course, what he did with Watchmen, I don't know. But you know, Klutzman's got way more unbelievably stupid things under his belt. Klutzman might be the dumbest of all the Jar Jar Abrams acolytes. Abrams is a lot of things. He's not talented, but he's not dumb either. He knows how to control things to make his little money and to weave his little spider webs. It's like Mr. Potter. Mr. Potter, you're nothing but a scurvy little spider spinning your webs everywhere. Yeah, that's what Jar Jar Abrams is. Mr. Potter from, anyway, sorry. Thank you, Eric K, for the $2 super chat, buddy. Said Clobby wants Wesley to play Superman. You mean, by Wesley, of course, he likes to tease me about, he knows how much I love, in fact, of course, hate. Whatchamacallit, what's his name? Wesley Crusher, a.k.a. whatever. Screw William, say his name, Will Wheaton. But yes, so he likes to tease me about that. Well, you know what? I don't think they're going to hire him, Eric. I won't get my wish, looks like. Look, I've said earlier on that show, I like Henry Cavill. I hope he gets a chance to actually play Superman one day. And he's running out of time. He's not getting any younger, but if they hire him. Wagner says, is Richard Lester the original Jar Jar? No, the reason why I wouldn't say that, personally, Wagner, is because the guy directed some Beatles movies that were very well liked, and they were pretty good. His problem was he was wrong for Superman, and he just was not the right guy. He was not the Salkinds hired him because they could use him and they liked this Beatles movies, and the Salkinds were the villains for those Superman movies. So Richard Lester, while I hate his stupid Superman 2 version theatrical cut, I don't think he's a Jar Jar Abrams type. The bad guys there were really the Salkinds, in my opinion. He directed some other movies, that Beatles films that were well accepted. He just shouldn't have directed a Superman movie. But he was kind of, all the things, he was caught in a bad spot too, and he just didn't understand the material the way Richard Donner did, in my opinion, anyway. So he's just not right for Superman. But Jar Jar Abrams, on the other hand, this dude, and this is one of those things that kind of started with him in a sense. Maybe not completely, but no, maybe it started with him, but it's one of the biggest glaring examples because he gets hired because he's made a couple of TV shows and movies that did well. Let's say that. And Les Moonves, that sack of filth, who is admittedly didn't care about Star Trek, didn't like it, just didn't know what to do with it, didn't give a shit, hires a dickhead, Jar Jar Abrams, who's admitting in public, I was never a Star Trek fan. Okay. Look, I love Star Trek, but it's okay if you're not a Star Trek fan. There's nothing wrong. Not everyone is. But if I could like you as a human being if you don't like Star Trek, if you hate Star Trek. But if you get hired to direct what is ostensibly supposed to be a Star Trek movie, that pisses me off. And if you take that job, especially when you're a guy that could get any other job, it's not like he was desperate, then you're a jackass. Instead of acknowledging, you know what, I thank you, but I'm not the right fit for this because I really don't know much about it. Unless you're going to be like, look, Nicholas Meyer is a loathsome human being, but he was a smart director. And when Harv Bennett got a hold of Star Trek and got him for the job, the two of them did their homework. As we all know, that's classic Star Trek lore, and it's true. So you have to give them something on that one. Well, Jar Jar Abrams didn't do the same things that Nicholas Meyer or Harv Bennett did at all. He didn't give a shit. He didn't give a flying fluck about it, and it was, in fact, thought it was funny to walk around saying, I was never a Star Trek fan. Yeah, well, boy, did you went out, you really proved it too, dude. You proved that you were never a Star Trek fan. I mean, I believed you. And your piece of shit 2009 movie was trash. Like you, trash. And that's why I have no respect for him. But then he was saying, I was more of a Star Wars fan. And people were, when he got, in 2012, any friends who knew me back then will tell you, when it was announced, I guess that was 2012, right? With that Lucas, like the big baby that he was, sold Star Wars away because he couldn't take all the people being mean to him, and whatever other dumb reasons. When Lucas, let's be clear about this. You can say what you want about the prequels. He's the one that sold Star Wars out to the white slavers, as he called them. So he did that for whatever reason. I don't know, but he did it. And he's what led to the destruction. So when Jar Jar, I remember saying to people, oh God, they're going to let Jar Jar Abrams direct it. You watch. I remember when they announced it, the day they announced that shit. I don't know who went on the show with me. That was 2012. That's 10 years ago, but I think it was 2012 they made that announcement. I could be wrong. You can correct me. But whoever I was on the show with, and I was saying, look, it's going to be Jar Jar Abrams. And for a couple of my people were telling me, nah, it's not going to be Jar Jar. Come on now. I said, it's going to be freaking Jar Jar. I'm telling you, I called it. I'm wrong about all kind of things. So, folks, I'm wrong about a lot of things, but I was not wrong on this. I called it way before they announced it. I don't remember when it was announced that he was going to direct, but I was like, for however long between the time, Pat S says, let's see. Did Moonves really order Enterprise? Yes, Enterprise was destroyed because of Moonves. It didn't get its just due because of that dickhead. It wasn't just him, but it was also people at Paramount. But anyway, excuse me. So I called it, and sure, I said, well, I hope I'm wrong. As retroblasting, because I know you used to hang out with me, Mike. It's just, that's right. You called the director, and then 4 months later, I predicted the entire plot. That's right, he did. Retroblasting, man, he was so predictable. And even though it's Jar Jar Abrams, who is very predictable anyway, he predicted it all. Those were some times. And, I predicted that he was going to be the director. And from there, I knew it was going to be shite. And people were saying, okay, you were right about he's going to be it. But, hey, he said he likes Star Wars. Maybe it'll be good. You know what I said, right? Anyone guess how I reacted to that? I said, yeah, maybe. I said maybe. But I wouldn't have my hopes up if I were you. The guy's a shitty director. He's a garbage storyteller. He's going to hire morons to work for him. And then he started talking about all this kind of dumb shit that had nothing to do with Star Wars, political crap, without getting too political here. And, you know, they started talking about some of that kind of shit. And then Michael, with Retro Wrestling, like he said, he predicted the plot. And his prediction, we knew about it when his predictions started coming true. Remember, Michael, do you remember how it was like, what, a few months before when they released, they put some stuff out there. I hate to use the word plot, but, you know, the basic, what the story was going to be a number of months before the movie came out, The Force Awakens, which I think is a piece of trash. And it was similar to the stuff that happened with Jar Jar Abrams' Star Trek garbage, because before the 2009 movie came out, and I've talked about this before, after the Trek Space Wars, when the Star Trek 2009 trash movie came out in April of 2009, a few weeks before, Wikipedia, of all places, had a plot synopsis on it. And I read the thing and I was laughing. That was right around when I started my show, 2009. That's why I started my show. We're all here, folks, because of Jar Jar Abrams. He deserves a vote for that alone. We're here right now knowing each other because of Jar Jar Abrams. Anyway, in a sense, anyway. So, and Zack Snyder, and Hack Snyder, really, because I was bitching about the Watchmen movie, too. That was another thing I wanted to bitch about. But it had already been out for a couple of months. So, the plot, quote unquote, leaked. And I was friends with some people. I was corresponding with a friend online from Australia, I believe. And the movie opened like a week or two before over there, the 2009 trash. And I read the plot and I started laughing my ass off. And so I asked this friend of mine, said, this is a joke, right? Someone made this up to be funny. I mean, and it's pretty funny. I said, this is pretty fun. I don't think we were using the term trolling then, but it was like, someone's having a laugh, right? There's no way they filmed this. Because it mentioned everything. Vulcan blows up. Wait a minute. I was saying, dude, they wouldn't blow up Vulcan. That's so stupid. What are you talking about? Spock and Uhura, they wouldn't do something that stupid. I mean, I believe the stupid shit about what they were doing to Kirk, making him a rebel without a brain and making him a child, making him act like a stupid frat boy. As much as I hated it, I bought into that. Like, I have a feeling they're going to do that. But stuff like blowing up Vulcan and Spock and Uhura shit, I was like, that's made up. No, what? Come on now. Old Spock from the future. I was like, that's bullshit. That's not. They wouldn't do this. No, man. It might be bad, but it's not going to be that stupid. Well, we all know what happened, right? Every bit of detail of that plot was in the goddamn movie, which makes it a piece of trash. Horribly written garbage from hell. In my never humble opinion when it comes to, because I don't have a humble opinion when it comes to Jar Jar Abrams or Hack Snyder. So, same deal happened in 2013 with Into Dumbness. For months leading up to it, he's like, no, it's not going to be Khan. He's a skinny British dude. His name is John Whatser-Flucker. Whatever the fleck his goddamn name was. John Harris. John Harry ass. I can't remember now. Well, about a couple of months before, or a couple of weeks before, everyone's saying he's Khan. Good night, Pat ass. Have a good one, buddy. He's Khan. And everyone's like, no, he's not Khan. Yes, he's Khan, you idiot. Anyway, because you notice how he casted everybody. Yeah, Harrison, thank you. He casted, as much as I don't like any of the recastings, including Carl Urban, he's not McCoy either. Everyone thinks he's so great. To hell with that. He casted everybody to look at least something similar to the other roles, but the one guy he doesn't is the skinny British dude, because in 2009, after the original garbage came out, people were saying, it was okay, but you better not screw with Khan. And I was always like, wait a minute. Why is Khan sacred? He defiled all the other characters, but Khan, a character that appeared all of 2 times, that's a bridge too far, right? So, if he'd have cast a guy that was relatively similar to Ricardo Montalban, then he wouldn't have been able to lie about it for a year. That's all. That was plausible, quote unquote, plausible deniability. Yeah, John Harriman was, I remember that Alan Ruck character in Generations. I remember that, Donnie. I'd forgotten the name Harrison because, quite frankly, that movie, actually, Into Dumbness was funny, at least. It's so bad, it's funny. I actually think the movie's hilarious. And one day, the most unfriendly, horrible thing we've ever done to my buddy Michael at Retroblasting was we made him sit. Did we make you sit through Into Dumbness one night when we were all there at your place, Michael? I hope you'll forgive me for that one day. Max Redstone's here. What's up, buddy? He says, take my Latin. Inconceivable. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow, buddy. Thank you. So I will forever apologize to him for that. Yes, he still has nightmares. I'm sorry, brother. I blame Melinda, but it was me because I wanted to know what you thought about it, man. I wanted to get your opinion on it, and I wanted, misery loves company. And you know that, man. So Retroblastic says, yep, his vision of Star Trek was his vision of Star Wars, so we know how he viewed Star Wars. We predicted Force Awakens beat for beat, and we were 97% dead on months before the damn plot leaked. And yes, and when the plot leaked, so yeah, fast forward to, thank you so much, Max, by the way. Before the plot leaked, when the plot finally leaked a couple of months before the movie came out, I got to tell you, it was deja vu for me, though, Michael, because when I was reading all this crap about the plot of Force Awakens, I didn't really believe it. I was similar, like, nah, really? They're not going to do that. Then I remembered, oh, well, yeah, that's what I said about Jar Jar Abrams 2 other times before. Yeah, and I'm not talking about Beyond, because Beyond's such a piece of shit. He was only a producer on Star Trek Beneath. So, Force Awakens, when I was reading about the plot leak, I forgot who I was talking to about it. I talked about it a little bit. I'm like, this is a joke. And then I kept saying, but it might not be a joke because this happened to me 2 times before on the shitty Star Trek movies. But this stuff is so stupid, I could see someone making this up as a goof. And I'm talking about the quote-unquote plot of the piece of shit Episode 7. It's good to see you, 70s. Had a good time hanging out talking Dr. No last night on Nick's channel, by the way. So I was actually going, I don't know, maybe it's a joke, but I'm not sure. Maybe that's really good. I can't believe they would make this. And so, like an ass, I went to see the Force Awakens on the first night. And I don't understand. Well, Jar Jar Abrams, I know he sucks. But I was like, wait a minute. People are walking out of this movie excited as they could fucking be. People were loving this freaking movie so much. I'm walking out pissed off. Like, what in the hell did I just watch? This is a piece of garbage. You kill Han Solo like a bitch. It's just every bit before that was bad enough. Before that, you have insufferable characters, wasted characters, badly ruined characters, anything but good characters. There's nobody any good in it. Characters who were good are no good anymore. Could not be reached for comment. I wanted to walk out. I also did want to walk out, but I didn't. And when I walked out of the theater when it was over, God damn, that movie sucks. And then years later, whenever everyone was like, well, at least he's not directing the next one, The Last Jedi. But Ruins Johnson guy is pretty good. I had not seen Looper, still haven't, never will now. But even I was like, well, maybe it'll be better. Maybe it'll be better. I mean, it can't be worse, right? No way you can make a worse movie than Jar Jar Abrams. No way. There's no way you can. I mean, it might even be. I expect it to not be good, meaning The Last Jedi. Or, but it'll at least be better than that trash. It's got to be better than Force Awakens, right? Nope. Because I do hate Jar Jar. I do hate Force Awakens, but Last Jedi's worse, in my opinion, anyway. And it didn't even waste any time. I'll give Ruins Johnson that much. It did not waste a second. As soon as we see the most vile thing I've ever seen in a movie, the rest of the movie didn't even matter. When I see him take that lightsaber and throw it over his shoulder, there's nothing. There's no coming back from that. Well, maybe there could have been coming back from it, but they didn't. But they didn't bother trying. So, right there, what is it? A couple of minutes into the movie, I'm ready to. I mean, I saw that thing and I was like, "Oh my!" I yelled in the theater. We were sitting up pretty close to the front, my son and I. And I don't know if anybody else was yelling, but I said, "You got to be mother kidding me!" And I did not say it. I yelled it loud. You got to be mother shitting me. I said it. I'm trying to behave here on the show as much as I can. Yelled it. Should have got up. Should have left. I should have did what he did. I should have taken my ticket and thrown it over my shoulder and walked out. But I didn't because I'm stupid. And I've never watched it since and never will. It's right up there down there with Man of Steel and Fan Four Stick and all those things. Said Ruins Johnson stole that joke from me, and I did it better 5 years prior. He did. Oh crap! Throws it over his shoulder, folks. Lightsaber. Sure, the movie got worse and worse after that. I'm just saying, right there, I'm like, maybe if I'd have walked out right there, I'd go, that movie wasn't all that. It was just sort of so-so. Because it does get way worse from there. Don't get me wrong. I did not go to the theater to see another movie with the word Star Wars on it. Never will. I watched I think I watched a quote unquote ARG copy of Solo, and it's a piece of trash. And I watched an ARG copy of no, I did watch. Was Rogue One before that? Yeah, it was before that. I watched that, so that's different. So no, Last Jedi was the last thing ever for a lot of people. I watched Slolo, and that's a piece of shit. And I watched an ARG copy of Ruse of Soywalker, and that's a piece of trash. Well, Jar Jar Abrams did that one. Yep, Harry said, Clobberin, you could never behave. I think I behaved pretty well tonight when I was going after that Snyder bot on Loki's show. Considering, I think, did I lose it that bad? I mean, come on. Because if I did, I'm sorry. It's not my show to lose my. That's why I tried to. Loki was cool about it, but I shouldn't lose it on someone else's show. That was, and so I hope I controlled it. Very sad indeed, Dave. I'm with you. But see, at that point, people were going nuts. Look, I knew some bitches. God, bless them. I'm friends with them and everything. They were going back to see the Force Awakens that weekend. I know some bitches said he saw it 10 times that first weekend. I've seen it one time, and I'll never want to see it again. This sucker claiming see it 10 times that weekend. Bruce Lombardo of Dick's Division. What's up, Akeem Masabi? It's been a dog's age, brother. Good to see you. He says, I stopped at Force Awakens. It was so fucking boring. I fell asleep during a lightsaber demonstration. I've seen better chase scenes at funeral processions. F that trilogy until the earth ends. Yes, sir. That was the claim, Michael. I don't know if he's just maybe, people were, look, as you probably know, though, Michael, there were idiots going to see that movie Michael says that movie 10 times. I'd rather have a porn addiction. You'd be infinitely better off with a porn addiction. But there were people claiming, oh, yeah, they were going back over and over again. They were wearing their dumb costumes going to watch the goddamn movie. They were in denial. I remember I put on Facebook when I got home. I put this one thing I would definitely say for Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. It was definitely filmed and shown on movie screens. That's what I put. And I've talked about this before. There were people that didn't understand what I was saying. Like, well, what do you? Of course it was. What is that supposed to mean? And there were other people that knew I was being an a-hole and saying, like, I knew you wouldn't like it. Well, good. You didn't like it, huh? I was getting snide remarks from people. Well, and I did get some genuine bewilderment from some people. Like, what does that mean? It means it sucks. But I remember I said I will not tell anybody what I think about it until I review it then on the show, the upcoming show. So, yeah. What are you going to do? There's always a group. Yeah, there's always a group of people happy to drink poison. Just ask Jim Jones. That is for sure, sir. It's always the zealots. That was when I was calling them the Star Wars zealots. But there's some people that will tell you. I've heard people say rightly hate the Last Dead guy, will tell you that they got sucked in and I don't know if they saw it 10 times, but they liked Episode 7 at first. They liked Force Awakens at first, then later they don't like it so much, and they realize it's garbage. But there were people who did get sucked into it first, and look, I'm not going to blame anybody. People just, it just goes to show you how much of our heart gets wrapped up in these things sometimes. And just remember, folks, Jar Jar Abrams, another reason why it's his fault. Yes, Kathleen Kennedy, of course. That one of the biggest travesties in all of pop culture history was we didn't get one last look, one last adventure with our beloved characters. They didn't have to dominate the whole movie. But we did not get to see Han, Luke, and Leia in a movie together, put them in there working with newer characters to introduce the new characters for the movies going forward. We did not get to see them together. We got robbed of that. Jar Jar Abrams played a big part of that. He wasn't the only one, but he played a huge part in that because he is a jackass. That's the Mr. Scumbag who says, I'm a Star Wars fan. Well, Jar Jar, if you're a Star Wars fan, you wouldn't do that to Star Wars. Even if the movie would have been no good, if you really cared about Star Wars, you would have at least had, Han, Luke, and Leia in it together, seeing each other, being together for one. It could have been not a good movie. But still, if I would have some respect for it if it just wasn't good. Like, the prequels are particularly good, but I don't think Lucas meant harm to Star Wars. I don't really like his ideas that he had for the prequels, and I don't think he had contempt for it. You must have contempt for Star Wars to do what Jar Jar Abrams did. Yep, that boneheaded omission shows how cluelessly inept Abrams is as a storyteller. And it shows that he doesn't like Star Wars. I mean, he's lying his ass off when he said he was a Star Wars fan. What Star Wars fan, okay, I ask you, what Star Wars fan was be given the reins to direct a Star Wars movie in 2015 and not put the most three beloved characters in there one last time when they're all signed up to be there? What Star Wars fan would do that? How can you... But no, they said, well, he was a Star Wars fan. Yeah, well, he said that. Yeah, but he could say anything, right? Guy's a dipshit, and he doesn't give a fuck. Jar Jar Ontario's excuses for not honoring OT Trio is bullshit. It's total bullshit. So he just screwed so many people, and some people just sucked it up. Now at least the most people don't care about the new trash. The sequel trash is not in high regard, but for most people, there's some people that like the shite, and hey, like what you want to like. But anyway, I don't know how I got to Star Wars. Oh, I know how, because Jar Jar Abrams was in the lead big time. It's literally a crying shame. He said that was a shame since it was the last opportunity. Yeah, it was a shame, Cal. It's literally a crying shame because it's something that they mean so much to us that if they had been in a movie together and they put them in there, even if the movie had been less than stellar, so pardon the pun, if it is one, it may not be one. I don't know. I'm no pun judge. But if it had been not that good, but you still got something out of the characters being together, it would have made a lot of people emotional, even if it wasn't as good. But he took that away. He didn't even give you that. The guy's a sack of garbage. And he and Kathleen Kennedy, everyone at the heart of that decision to do that, what they did in Force Awakens, that's the way it's, in a sense, it's almost worse because of that. Because the damage is done with that movie. Because you already, as bad as Last Jedi is a worse movie, Force Awakens is kind of worse in that respect. Because it wrecked everything. And everything was pretty much wrecked. Because Han Solo was wrecked. Even if Last Jedi had treated Luke with respect, you still would be getting all three characters back together because of what Abrams did with Last Dead Guy. With Force Awakens. Okay, our poll, folks. Poll update. The question was, which filthy, disgusting, worthless, garbage animal bag of trashy, filthy, scummy, scuzzy, garbagey, filthy, crappy, maggoty, crappy crap, shitty, crap, scummy, low-life, morony, ass-headed, filth-infested, maggoty, filthy, garbagey piece of goddamn trashy shit destroyer of fandoms do you dislike the most? In first place at 42%. The King's still up there, but he's being challenged. Jar Jar Abrams, the king of all that is fandom destruction. The destroyer, the devourer of worlds. And not in a cool Galactus way either. Pop Culture Republic, hey there. Jar Jar Abrams, the crap box bag of filth and maggoty infested. Oh, I'm going to start all that again. Sorry. The putrid, vomitous mass of, Jar Jar Abrams, that sack of, I'm trying to get to the next one, I promise, is in first place at 42. So I wish I could have fit all that on the poll question. I tried, D-Bud, but it has a limit. Sorry. In 42%, good old Jar Jar is in 42. In second place, the two-headed monster of Ruins Johnson Head and Kath Spleen Crinity with 38%, nipping at the heels of Jar Jar Bitchstrums. And poor old Chris Chibi Chinballs at a lowly 15% in third place. In fourth place is Hack Snyder at a whopping 6%. Wow, poor old Hack Snyder. Or actually, he's being complimented. You guys are being nice to Snyder tonight. That's terrible. I'm starting to think Clobby does not like any of these people. Well, it's only because I dislike them. And I'm trying to hold back on the H word just to, Look, I try not to hate anybody. Try. I actually, in some way, look, I don't hate. I just don't think it's a good thing, necessarily a healthy thing to hate anybody unless they do evil things. These people have done borderline evil things because they've hurt a lot of people. They've done things true. I mean, I'm not saying I'm accusing them of crimes. I just want to put that out there. Not accusing anybody of crimes, except crimes against fandoms. But they have destroyed some beloved things that people hold dear that they didn't have to do. They could have been just as well off. And maybe more so, arguably more so if they didn't do these things. They were vindictive. They didn't give a shit. And they destroyed some things that mean a lot to a lot of people. And it's been borne out that the majority, not all fans of anything, of course, but the majority of fans of all these things that they've destroyed do not, like what they did. This, I'm sorry to tell you, because look, there's some people who like. I understand there are Snyder people who like his crap, and some people that I like as individuals that like it. But let's face it, it underperformed at the box office, and over the past years that it's come out, most people who are fans of these characters don't like what Hack Snyder did to them. They don't. That doesn't mean you're not allowed to like it. You can like anything you want, but the majority of people who are fans of these characters don't like his stupid ass take on them. So Snyder is crap to me, and I hate his garbage. Chris Chibi, in my opinion, Moffat did a lot of damage to Doctor Who, but none of it was irreparable. He just had a bad run on the show, because as much as I love the actor Peter Capaldi, I did not like, even a lot of the stories in the Matt Smith era had a lot of problems, although I loved Matt Smith as the Doctor. The Doctor was written correctly. It's just that Capaldi, great actor though he was, this Doctor was written very terribly, in my opinion. As great an actor as he is. And he didn't have one story that I love. At least Smith had a few. I can't name you one story that I barely even liked, like in the Capaldi era, and that's sad. He did it a long time. So, but it was not irreparable damage. It was not good, at least in my opinion. Now, not everyone agrees with that. I get it. But Chibi wiped it out. Chibi destroyed it. Chibi annihilated it. Not just for, I mean, look, yes, for political reasons, but not even just socio-political reasons, although that was a lot of what the BBC was doing. It was also for spite and hateful reasons. And Jodie Whittaker was hateful towards old Doctor Who fans and trashed old Doctor Who. So she can go screw as well. But Ruins Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy really belong in the same. I mean, it's fitting that they're both neck and neck in this poll with Jar Jar Abrams, but those two just ruined Star Wars. Helped them. They were in cahoots ruining Star Wars. Whereas Jar Jar Abrams participated in the destruction of Star Trek and Star Wars, as everyone says. That's why he's doing so well in this poll. So it doesn't matter who you pick. I mean, all of them are valid. All of them. It just depends. Like, for example, you may not be much of a Doctor Who fan, and you may not be much of a Star Wars fan, but Star Trek is your thing, so you go Jar Jar Abrams. If you're a fan of Star Trek and Star Wars, mostly, you probably go with still kind of Abrams. But if you're just a Star Wars fan, you might just go with Kennedy and what's this, Rowan Johnson's ass. If you're just not into any of those, but you're a comics person and you don't like what Snyder did, that might be who you vote for. So it just depends. There's no wrong or right or wrong answer. Like I said, I don't get a vote. If I got a vote and I didn't cheat and go all the above, I would have to go Jar Jar Abrams myself. But that's just me. Bruce Lombardo said Hack Snyder just writes schlock movies for a certain demographic, and I'm not part of that buying demographic. Yeah, Bruce, thank you, by the way, for that. I understand where you're coming from. You also said something earlier. I forgot to start. Let's see here. Oh, I forgot. Okay, there we go. Bruce also said, despite the fact that Hack Snyder screwed up with when he streamed with Uche, he's never been on my radar. Uche isn't on my radar either. There wasn't an ounce of manliness with those two. No, me either. I'm not a big fan of either one of those, but I have nothing against Uche personally. I don't agree with pretty much anything he ever says. I don't really like Snyder bootlickers that much, but that's just me. And it came back to bite him on the ass. But anyway, what are you going to do? However, yes, Snyder was terrible what he did to Geeks and Gamers. It was horrible. But see, some people like some of the Capaldi stuff too. That's perfectly fine. I can't name you one. See, I hated both of those Hellbent Heaven Sent ones myself, Wagner, but a lot of people liked it. Or which one was yeah, I didn't like either one of those, but Hellbent was garbage. Oh my God. The whole thing just leaves a bad taste on it. The whole Capaldi run, man. I don't know. So Moffat, but still, Moffat didn't ruin anything. He just, again, like I said, there's a difference. If you just screw something up or make it suck, because you could get rid of him and someone else could have come in and done a good job. BBC and Chibi, and I'm not even going to throw Whittaker in there. She's just hired to do a job. It was I see what you're saying there, Bruce. No, I understand. I got you there, man. I got you, buddy. So here we go. Pop culture's asking something here. Was there a time when Jar Jar did something that was good? I'm thinking back to the Alias TV show that I seem to remember liking. Have never finished that series though. From what I understand, that people did like that show. People like some other show he did, a couple other shows he did. I never watched it, so I don't really know. Some people have said it didn't. You know, he did do a lot of mystery box stuff even on that. I know he was. It's funny how he didn't get enough blame for Lost. I didn't watch Lost, but a lot of people did. I watched like maybe one episode. I don't know. People who loved that show got screwed over by Jar Jar big time at the end. That's not me talking. That's people who are fans. And so he's responsible for what happened to Lost. And fans of Lost weren't too happy with him. And he's the boss, even though he maybe not have been there. He's the master of the mystery box crappy writing, by the way. He gave us all those dumb mystery box type of stories. D-Bud says, I agree on Moffat. I found the writing weak. I guess that was that was good because it made me stop watching Who before Dr. Karen destroyed it. Yeah, good point there, D-Bud. See, the Moffat era, I was so excited to see Capaldi take the part. I was thrilled about that. Well, a lot of people say that, Citizen. A lot of people were big fans of Lost, and then Mystery Box was empty. He said, well, there you go. But see, Capaldi, I remember seeing all these clips before he took on the role from In the Thick of It of him as Malcolm Tucker, cussing, and everything was like these cursing rants, and they were hilarious. It's almost like, hey, Rob Altus, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Thanks for being here. It's almost like that Moffat, for some reason, watched too many of those clips, and he decided that the Doctor should act like that. But it sans the cursing, because he wasn't going to have the cursing. And he wrote the Doctor as nasty, and I mean nasty. And he didn't just write him as nasty. That was one thing. And that was bad enough. Look, all doctors from Troughton on up, because Hartnell was not friendly or anything like that, but he was a crusty old bird, and we love him for that first Doctor. Patrick Troughton started a trend that ran through all the Doctors, even though they weren't all like him, is that there was a sense of fun, a sense of silliness, and no matter what was going on, he always had something reassuring to do and say. He was a friendly person, and that always had a smile about something and a joke. Even John Pertwee, a very reserved type of guy, but Pertwee the third Doctor could be funny, could still be lighthearted, could still be even silly sometimes and be childish. He's the one that said, I like being childish. And then, of course, every Doctor was a contrast, but they all had one thread that ran through them, the sense of fun, the sense of nudge, nudge, wink, wink at the audience. Know what I mean? Say no more. Every Doctor had that one trait that ran from Troughton, even some of Hartnell, but Troughton all the way through to Matt Smith. Whereas you can tell it's the same being inside, because it's still that core goodness and that core friendliness. Yes, he'd be smart. He could be snarky at you. And yes, he could make wisecracks. He can even get cross and act like a jerkweed sometimes. All of them could. But at the end of the day, you knew he was your friend. The Doctor was your friend of the audience and the friend of his companion. All of a sudden, along comes Moffat, and Capaldi, great actor, from get-go. And you can't judge by the first story, Deep Breath, because it's a regeneration story. You can't count that. From then, he was nasty. He was mean. The jokes weren't even funny. He treated everybody like shit except Clara. And then he made him simp like a bitch for Clara. All that stuff at the Coal Hill School. He was in love with her. He was jealous of that idiot Danny Pink, who was annoying. Clara became Clara Who. And when fans make jokes calling it Clara Who, Moffat doubled down and made it worse because he was a spiteful bitch ass. And Capaldi's Doctor was never likable at all. Performance is fantastic. The acting's great, but he wasn't likable. He was mean. He was bitch. He was following Clara around like a sick little puppy, like a lovesick puppy. He was simping that way, if we like that word. And he was just he was not in character with any of the other doctors at all. The silliness wasn't there as much. It was there a little bit. He tried to be funny. Acerbic, yes. Even look, even Colin Baker doctor mellowed out. I'm one of the few that likes the Colin Baker doctor. 7th and 6th doctor, I like him. I'm a big fan of the 7th doctor. So, Paul McGann, again, I hated that Fox pilot. He didn't get much of a shot, unfortunately, but he was good in some of the Big Finish audios I've heard. And, of course, in Night of the Doctor. So there was still doctorness in there. There's a certain thing called doctorness that is definable in some ways. It was mostly missing from Capaldi's Doctor. And his stories were not, and then add to that some below average stories. I think I kind of liked that one with the Orient Express in space or whatever. That felt more like almost like a Tom Baker episode. But wow, Troughton benefited from working for years with Sir Laurence Olivier, says Claude. Well, says Minimusness. Classic says, I think Moffat was under a dictate from the BBC. I've seen interviews where he says the Doctor shouldn't be a political character that appeals. He shouldn't be a political character that appeals to everybody. He shouldn't. No. Well, it worked. Well, there you go. But everyone's talking about Fringe in the chat. I never saw Fringe. I know Minimus liked it. So again, Jar Jar Abrams' name was on it, and everyone said it's still good, and he has nothing to do with it. I trust you, believe you, but his name was on it, so to hell with him. No thanks. I just wasn't really interested in it. Again, anyone who says it's good, I believe you, and more power to you. Matt should, Classic Man, he should appeal to everybody. Yeah. Well, the BBC sure changed that policy, Classic Comics, because now it's totally about politics. And I don't think Russell T Davies is going to save a damn thing because he's already kind of said that he's not. But let's see. Maybe he will throw us a bone. Maybe if don't start with those. I know the jokes are coming from that with Russell T Davies. Make the obvious jokes you want. Just don't do anything too bad in the chat. But Russell T Davies, maybe those 3 David Tennant stories that we got to wait a year for. Maybe they'll be just like normal Doctor Who David Tennant stories, and maybe they'll be enjoyable and we'll get something. Maybe. And then he'll go back and he'll do his Disney Plus is getting Doctor Who, folks. You want to vomit all over the world? Disney Plus Doctor Who's coming up. Disney Plus is going to be controlling Russell T Davies, who's already talked a lot of political crap. And has already shown how he's going to be maybe just as political as Chibi. I don't know. So, I have nothing against Chudi Gatwa, but his doctor's going to be probably just like Jodie's in the sense it's all going to be about pointing fingers at people and all this other kind of stuff. So, maybe these 3 David Tennant episodes will be just like watching old Tennant episodes and make kind of fun. I doubt it. Don't get your hopes up. They'll probably have a lot of crap in there, but you never know. I can't believe we had to wait a freaking year. That's another thing. It's November now. Then we have to wait a year for the 60th for that stuff to come out. I get it, I think, but I'm not quite in the know. Is there anyone here who knows? Are they doing anything for the 59th anniversary this year? I know it's just the 59th, but like a November 22nd, which is Doctor Who Day. Are there going to be anything? No specials? Nothing? If so, why didn't they run the show The Power of the Doctor then? Ratings, I guess. Maybe this was a better ratings period. I don't know. The ratings didn't do that great for The Power of the Doctor, by the way. They were just better than Jodie ratings, but they were like basically Capaldi level ratings, which were nowhere near as good as the ratings when it was Smith and even more so Tennant. Just saying. The parody Inspector Spacetime from Community was better than Doctor Who Chibi's run, says Quagnor. Yeah. Chibi sucks. What are you going to do? So anyway, yes, to shift gears a little bit back to what I was talking about, everyone, do you have 1 or 2 things, anything comics-wise or geek-wise that you're looking forward to? and we'll do that, and then we'll get out of here. We'll do our poll. That you're looking forward to this year, or coming up this year or next year, because I talked about it a little bit earlier. Comics wise, this is the only thing I can think of. Paul Levitz was the great Legion of Superheroes writer. I love Alan Davis's stuff. To see two old veterans like that going back to comics. Might not be anything. Might be good, though. The art looks good. The art looks good. Kal-El says, I think the best way I can currently describe the upcoming Tenet episodes is cautiously optimistic, but also hope for the best, but prepared for the worst. That's the way you got to do it now. That's the way you got to do it. Bruce Lombardo says, I'm looking forward to starting an alpha beta testing for a tabletop RPG, which borrows heavily from D&D 2006 and before. Cool. That's right. You're a big time gamer there, Bruce. I know that much. Excellent. And he says, if you don't like the market, make your own media. That's what I'm looking to do. That's fantastic, Bruce. Keep it up, man. Never stop. Ironhide says, I'm looking forward to Clobby's Clubhouse. Well, that's tomorrow night at 9. So thank you, Ironhide. I appreciate that. Thank you. So am I. I have a lot of fun doing that with Raquel and our chief engineer. Donnie Pearson says, the relationship between BBC and Disney Plus began when the latter became North America's new exclusive home to Dancing with the Stars after 30 cycles on ABC in the States and CTV in Canada. Well, yeah. All right, JD Lewis. Good night, my friend. You have a great night. So, yeah, War Across Time. Sorry again. I always have to apologize to my old chum, Captain Finity, because he's not a big fan of time travel. So, sorry, Captain Finity. I didn't mean to let you down. Oh, thank you to the great Mark D with a C for your info. He says, let's see here. Michael Carney. I didn't see you pop in, Michael Carney. I didn't see it, but Michael Carney has gifted 5 Clobberin Time memberships. Clobberin Times memberships. Michael Carney, thank you so much for that. You were too kind. I really appreciate it. Anyone out there, if you're not a member, and you don't have to be if you want, we love you here, whether you're one or not, of course. We love having one here. But if you would care to avail yourself of one of those memberships, please feel free to grab it. And no pressure. But if you're here and you're not a member and you'd like to be, you got for a free month membership there, please. Michael Carney, thank you. It's laid up there. It's laid up over wherever you are there, Michael Carney. I got you. Thank you, though. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody being here and everybody's doing the lurking and everyone's who's lurking and stuff. Oh, Bruce Lombardo of Dick's Division. Thank you, Bruce. He's got a $10 super chat. Dude, you're too kind. Thank you, buddy. He says, I know this isn't a lot, but I want you to put this something you want. Put this to something you want, Clobby. Hey, Bruce, it is a lot. Believe me, to me, it is a lot. And anyone just hanging out is a lot. You'd never have to do that, but I really appreciate it. I'm very grateful to you, sir, for doing that. And it's a lot, believe me. And having you here, because I know you don't get to pop in much. I don't get to pop into a lot of streams either these days, but I appreciate seeing you so much. And you are too kind for that, Bruce. Thank you so much. I've been streaming. I do 4 of my own shows here a night, as you all know. But I only there's not a night I'm not streaming. It seems like now. I've got Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I got my Monday Night Mark C Comics Talk. I got tonight's Wild Card Wednesday. I've got Clobby's Clubhouse tomorrow night, and then Saturday night I got Saturday Night Star Trek. But then on Monday nights, Tuesday nights, I'm just honored to always be on with when I can make it on with Tom and the Great Midnight's Edge After Dark. He's too kind. The great Tom Connors has me on there, and I'm honored to. I'll go on there with them. It's a great channel, and I do that. Last night I was on 2 shows because I was on that. Then I was on with our great buddy Nick Weiser, talking some on his Toxic Tuesday, which is a great show. Talking Dr. No last night. I'm a big Bond fan, so that was fun. I was on Loki's Roundtable, Comic Book Roundtable tonight before I came on this show. And so I've been streaming since about, let's see, what is it about to be? Since about 7 o'clock Central. Now it's almost 11. And tomorrow night, sometimes on Thursday, I'm invited. I could go in there with a Midnight's Edge. And then after that, I got the Clubhouse. So I don't know if I'll be able to go on Midnight's Edge or not. Depends on when I'm able. Friday nights, I'm on Nick's channel on his comics, Friday Night Comics Talk. And then Sunday nights, of course, the great Mark D with the C has his geekery, so I go on and hang with them. So there's not been a day I haven't streamed in months now, I don't think. And I'm only do 4 of my own shows. And that's not a complaint. That's just me saying, hey, I appreciate all these people. I don't know why they want me on their show, but I do appreciate it. It's very nice of them to do that. I'm definitely not worthy, but I appreciate it. That 70s rock fan says the Abominable Snowman is the earliest Doctor Who I can recall watching. It's on its first transmission. God, I'm old. You are old, man. I'm glad somebody's older than me around here. You are too kind, Michael Carney, for that. Thank you so much. Appreciate the 10-pound super chat from Michael Carney. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. He says, keep up the hard work, Clobby. Looking forward to Saturday's DS9 stream. Well, thank you. We've been having a lot of fun with that. We've got 4 more episodes, of course, of that to go. And tomorrow, there's some cool action figures. I just saw saving them from the Clubhouse. Tomorrow night, Raquel's going to go nuts over that. Cool. Thanks again, Michael Carney. I appreciate that. So tomorrow night on the Clubhouse, we'll have a lot of cool stuff from Raquel. We'll no doubt have some new science fiction films she's watched, and our old ones she's watched, I should say. So that's going to be fun. And yep, Mark's got some stuff to show us. So should I even try Tripwire? Tonight, or should I do it tomorrow night? What do you think, Hungry Boy? You want to try to get it over with tonight? I'll let you decide, and then we'll get out of here. But I guess I can just do Tripwire real quick tonight, if there's one up there. Let me see. Oh man, it's being a pain in the. What say ye, Hungry Boy? Tomorrow. So do it tomorrow. Do Tripwire tomorrow. Okay. Oh, do it tonight. Oh, Kalel says, Clobby, I was wondering if you saw the DM that I sent you via Twitter. I think I did, Steve. Let me make sure. If it's the one I'm thinking, unless you sent another one since then. Let's see. I did get that one. You talking about the one that's a group one? Did you send out to Mark and Raquel also there, Stephen? If that's is that the one you're talking about? I got that one. So thank you. I know I got it. I need to go back and take a look at it again. I'm so sorry. So you guys are saying don't do it tonight. I'm conflicted. Hungry Boy's decision for no particular reason, but it is his decision. So, oh dear, oh dear. He was kidding. Do it. Oh well. I guess I can get it over with. It won't take long, and then we won't have to do it tomorrow. Or do you think I should do it tomorrow? Mark D thinks tomorrow. I hear you, Michael. I was just messing with them. You're right. I was going to decide either way, but thank you, Michael. 70 says, wish I had met him. I met Sylvester McCoy and Peter Capaldi so far. Yeah. So poor showing, really. Yeah, I've met McCoy. All right, let's see. Hey, Stunt Brad is here. Oh my goodness, Stunt Brad. 777 Smith, that is. Hey, Clobberin. Hi, Clobberin. Probably the oldest one here, Lyle. Eating Chinese food. Yes, yum. But you can't be the oldest one here, Stunt Brad. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna go out on a limb. And even I'm not. Usually I am, but Minimus is here, D-Bud's here, and 70s is here. Wait, Clobber Times isn't going to give that tenor to the altar of Wesley Crusher, is he? No. You're safe. Your tenor is safe, duder. All right, let's see here. Where are we at? Oops. 9. All right. See if they might not even have an entry. I don't know. I forgot to check earlier, so let's see. Yeah, they do. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, well, knock it out because nobody likes it on the Clubhouse. So I'll go and knock it out here. Bruce says 1975 here. Oh, you're a young fella then, buddy. You're young. Nice. Good and young there, sir. Bruce says, have you ever played with Micronauts toys from Mego? I didn't buy the Micronauts ones. Our buddy Mark D with a C, I don't know if you know, he's a Micronauts freak and has tons of them. He's done a lot of videos about them. He's your Micronauts guy right there. And it showed them many times on his channel and even mine. Let's see here. All right, let's go ahead and knock this out. For those who do not know, Tripwire, a former magazine, now just an online thingy, has a list of the top 101 all-time greatest comics artists, so they say. I've been chronicling that for over a year. They're now in the top 10. Now, I have a lot of problems with the placement. Not so much the fellers who are on the list, just the placement. So, we're in the top 10 now. We're at number 9. And this thing's whacking out on me. Let's see. Make sure you get it all loaded. The last one we did was number 10. It was Alex Schomburg. Okay, here we go, Hungry Boy. You ready, buddy? We'll do this and we'll get moving. And if you wouldn't believe some of the placement on this list is just ridiculous. Now, this one, again, it's another case of this gentleman belongs in the top 101, even high, but at number 1, number 9, I don't know. They're just some more deserving people. Not going to bitch about it, but I want to see, I don't know about the placement, but I have every respect for this great artist. And so number 9 is Lou Fine. A terrific artist, great of the golden age, one of the greats, okay? But Jesus Christ, I'm not so sure about number 9. And again, but we're gonna look, it's better than some people they might have put at number 9, granted. So let's take a look at Lou Fine. Every respect for him, just like with Alex Schomburg and all these others. He was a brilliant artist, so putting him at 9 is not bad. But I just think there's some people that they've already put some. So I'm not even going to knock it, but they've already put some people who belong in the top 10 in the 40s and the 50s. I mean, and the numbering as a numbering 40, number 40 something and 50 something and what have you. Well, thank you for that, Donnie Pearson. Thank you for the nice words. I appreciate that very much, and I love having you here, man. I always love having friends here. Yeah, and like you said, despite differences, as far as I've learned something, Donnie. We all have differences, no matter what. Stop, Brad said it's not Jesus' fault. That's true. I won't blame Jesus. I blame society. Society is to blame. We'll be charging them too. But he was a brilliant artist. I guess I don't have a problem with him being at 9. It's just that some of the people they put way lower than this, belong in the top 10. All I'm saying. Lou Fine was a master. So let's see, Hungry Boy. Let's see, there you go. The placement kind of wonky, but at least Fine was fabby. Yep, this was definitely fab. This was painless law, but the Kane Perez thing was unforgettable. Yeah, when they finish the list, I'm going to do a show nothing but going through the whole thing. The night when I go through all 101 of them, it's going to be a loud night indeed. I'm going to have to move the microphone considerably back from my stupid face, and because I'm going to be yelling. I remember, but they were like 50 something. I did a show where I counted them down from 101 to 50, whatever it was. But I'm going to wait till they get to number 1. I might not yell at number 1. I might go, at least I got that right. But when they get done, I'm going to do a show on a Monday night, Mark C. Comics Talk. Fitting enough, because our dear departed Mark C. loved comics and he loved comic book art. And I'm going to do me some yelling, baby. I did a lot of yelling that one time. And yes, I'm going to have me some fun with that. I might just have a friggin' heart attack. No, I'm kidding. You're not supposed to say that. So, anyway. Well, I tell you what, folks, let me just do some. And what a great crowd we have here tonight. I really appreciate all of you being here tonight. It's fantastic. It's amazing. What a crowd. So I want to thank everyone here who've lurked, of course, and anyone watching this later on the downloads. And what a fantastic chat we have. Of course, tomorrow night, Clobby's Clubhouse. Same Clobby time, same Clobby channel. And with, of course, our wonderful Raquel and our great buddy Mark D with a C. That's 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. We have a lot of fun on the Clubhouse. It's an anything goes type of show. It's just really, really great. I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. That's the only show note I got other than Saturday Night Star Trek, of course. 4 more episodes of Deep Space Nine, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Same Trek time, same Clobby channel on Saturday night. What a great fun time we've been having at the Saturday Night Star Trek show. And you've all been terrific, so I appreciate you. And also, I appreciate the great Eric K. for being here with us tonight. The Master of the Wrench. Thanks for all you do, buddy. You're just such a great friend of the show. And I appreciate you. We all appreciate you, as we appreciate the great Vindicator, Wrench of the North, Chris Persia. Buddy, old buddy, I thank you so much for hanging out with us and all the help you give me and all that art you do and stuff. You are too kind. Big shout out to the great Iron Wrench, D. Bud Martin. Tuska forever, buddy. Thanks for all you do, D. Bud. You the man, brother. Appreciate you. And I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. Gwagnar was here tonight. Donnie Pearson, thank you so much for being here tonight. Trevor Cunningham, thank you for being here tonight. Dave G. Sound, thank you. Michael Carney, thank you so much. Really appreciate you. Let's see here. Could not be reached for further comment. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. Hungry for some high-res Rampatrulli. Rampatrulli? Oh, what? Hungry boy. How about that? Sorry, buddy. I'm bad with pronouncing things, I guess. JT Kirk, brother. Appreciate you. Good to see you. Bruce Lombardo of Dick's Division, my friend. I'm always excited to see you hanging out with me, and thank you so much. Appreciate that. Stunt Brat 777 Smith, thank you so much for being here, my dear. It is always just so nice to have you pop in and visit with us. I cannot thank you enough for being here. You brighten everyone's day. Thank you. The great Mark D with a C, of course, is here. And feel better, dude. Hope we see you tomorrow night, man. Hope you're doing better. So take it easy. Thanks for earlier, what you did. That 7A's rock fan, buddy. Got to get you back on hanging out with me one of these nights, man. Good to see you. Let's see who else we got. Rob Altus, my friend. Thank you. Good to see you, man. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate you. Let's see who else we got. Don't worry, we're gonna try to get to everybody. Let's see here. Don't worry, I'll get everybody. It just takes a minute. Cal L, buddy. Thanks, man. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for being here. Minimusness was here. Thank you, Minimusness. I hope you're getting some sleep, actually. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Apollomes, Minion, and the Pupper were here earlier. Shout out Apollomes. Hope you and the Pupper are doing all right. Let's see. I think did my cuz come in? I think I saw my cuz earlier. Dave Rayborn was here. Yeah. Hey, good to see you, cuz. Thanks for being here tonight. Classic Comics was here. Hey, Classic Comics. Thanks, man. It was good hanging out with you at Loki's. Appreciate you. Pop Culture Republic was here. Good to see you. Thank you so much. J.D. Lewis had to run, I believe, but it was good to see you. Ironhide 84. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for being here with us. Hang on. Let's see. We're getting there, folks. We're getting there. Takes a second to move this thing back. Got to move the chat back. Brian Hepburn. Thank you. And also, Buddy Hepburn was here. So I think that was a different Hepburn. Was also here, if I remember correctly. With my memory, that's rare. J-Man was here, of course. The great J-Man, but he had to run. But also the great Decepticon. Two fantastic fellers. And thank you, boys. Appreciate you. Hope to see you soon. Citizen of the Universe 333. Thank you for being here tonight. Dr. Coffin Nails. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here. Did I mention my buddy JT Kirk? I probably did because, my memory starts to go after a while. But just wanted to be sure because I'm glad to see JT Kirk here with us. Let's this thing take a second. Chat's kind of sitting there on me, folks. Sorry. I almost got everybody, but I always say that, and then someone else pops up that I haven't caught, and I have to make sure I get them. Oops. Not handling the mouse particularly well tonight, folks. Trevor Cunningham, thank you for being here. I think I may have mentioned him already, but I'm not sure. Man. What a great rockin' chat, man. I swear. That was incredible stuff. I think I got most everybody, but I always say that. And we all know what happens when I say that. I keep looking and then boom. See? My memory's garbage because one of the greatest friends I've ever had in my life was here tonight. And I had to be reminded of it by moving the chat back because I'm that dumb. Retro Blasting, Michael and Melinda, you guys, love you so much. You're my good friends. Thank you for being here tonight, brother. I'm always honored to have you here, my friend. Anytime you pop in, buddy, thank you so much. The great Retro Blasting, folks. I can't imagine anyone here has not gone to their channel and so subscribed. But if you haven't, you're missing out. If you're a fan of geekness from the 80s and the 90s and cartoons and toys, vintage toys and things like that, you got to go check out Retro Blasting and sub to them, please. They're the best. They make amazingly, brilliantly produced videos. Just incredible. Let's see here. Whom do we have? Yes, I write these down on Saturday Night Star Trek. You'd think I'd be smart enough to write them down here, but it's too much going on to do it tonight. Max Redstone. Thank you, Max Redstone, brother. Appreciate you for that super chat. Thank you so much. Pat Ass was here tonight as well. The great Pat Ass buddy. Good to see you, man. I hope you're doing well. I know you probably had to run. Getting there, folks. Getting there. Canadian Spider-Man was here. Yeah. Well, all right, brother. Good to see you, man. I hope you're doing well. I know you're probably busy over there modding for our old buddy DC. Let's see. Whoa. Chat jumps on me sometimes. Am I going to say it again and then get screwed over again? I always say it and then it happens. But I think I got everybody now. Keely Chow, roll tide. See? It jinxes me, but I have to do that because it makes me. It helps me actually. Let's see here. All right, now I think could be wrong, but I think I got everybody. This is not scintillating radio, ladies and gerbils. I think was Maddie's daddy here tonight? Oh, Captain Infinity and Beyond is here. That's why we pay him the big bucks. The engineer helped me with something. I'm going to do the poll when I finish this, folks. Skogly Jatoon was here. Thank you so much, Skogly. Man, I wish I'd have thought of that before I did this. Thank you, though, Matt. Thank you, sir. Thank you, engineer. You're the man. That's why I would theoretically pay him the big bucks if I had actually big bucks to pay him. I would pay him big bucks if I could. I mean, I think I hope he believes me. He might not even believe me. But it's true. I would. Let's see here. All right. So, yeah, Maddie's daddy popped in. Yo, brother. And I think I'm almost to the end of it here. Claude Salling. Yay. And I know I'm almost to the end now. Okay. Well, look, there we go, folks. I did all the shout outs and stuff. I know it took a while. I'm sorry. All right. But I did it. So there we go. Thank you, everyone. I like giving the shout outs. I know it probably takes forever and no one likes it, but I just feel like I have to do it. Okay, folks, I'm going to close the poll out now because I totally forgot about it because I'm me. And I apologize. So, I should have. Oh, man. One day I'm going to make. I'm going to get some post-it notes, right? And when I have a poll up there on the channel, I'm going to write that on a post-it note, put it on my stupid view screen. So I'll know to close out and do that before I say goodbyes and all that stuff. Sometimes it's after the credits I think about it. And if without the great chief engineer Mark D with the seed, that would have happened tonight. That's not good, you jerk off. Meaning me. Me being the jerk off that is. All right, here we go. Ending the poll. All right. Now, ladies and gerbils, those who are left, that is. Sorry I didn't do this sooner. I'm so mad at myself. Okay, the question was, which filthy, maggot-infested, worthless piece of maggoty, crappity, puke, destroyer of fandoms do you dislike the most? In first place with 44%, the king of disaster, the Satan of franchises, the devourer of fandoms, the destructor himself, solidifying his place at the top or the bottom where his worthless piece of trash arse belongs. Jar Jar A. Holbrooms at 44%. In second place, worthy but not quite good enough or bad enough maybe, but they're right in that same shit pit with Jar Jar A. Holbrooms, and that is cultural locusts indeed. That's what they are, Rob Altus. That is Ruins Johnson Head and Cass Spleen Kennedy with 34%. And of course, in way back in third place, is Chris Chibi Chinballs at 13%. And in last place, some would call it first place in some ways, after 52 votes, by the way. And may God not have mercy on his crappy hack soul, Hack Snyder at 7%. What an epic poll it was indeed, ladies and gentlemen. I got to copy that one because I think the polls go away and you never can see them again if you don't copy them. Anyway, so thanks, everybody. What a fantastic night it was. You've all been great here on this wonderful Wild Card Wednesday night. Thank you to all of our friends that I said goodbye to, and thank you to everyone who lurked and everyone who watches us later on a download. You're all too kind. Big shout out to everybody. Have a great night. Join us tomorrow night on the Clubhouse. Good night, my friends, and enjoy these messages, of course.
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger. Ready to move out.